joining from Mind Garden. This will be designed to act as a meditation as well as a Q&A session where I will be here to answer any questions about anything in regards to meditation, wellness, spirituality. Here to just share what I know and here to also share what I don't know. And I'm out here learning as well on this journey with you all. Welcome everyone. We'll be starting very soon. Welcome Hatziri. Welcome. Before we started, do we have any questions about what we're doing today? Anything in general with regards to, welcome Nick, whether it's regards to meditation, spirituality. A big intention behind why I'm planning to do this daily is because I'm out here, welcome to those of you all joining, welcome Kathy, is really just to help people with their journeys with meditation and wellness and just self-development, because it can be a difficult journey. It can also be a lonely journey. So the goal here is really just to create a community for all of us to share an experience together, although it's a very individual experience, but the intention is really just to share the same time together. And who knows, the energies maybe will virtually rub off each other. So that's the intention behind why I'm doing this. But yeah, again, before we start, which we'll probably start in the next 2 minutes, to those of you all joining in from Mind Garden, I'm also recording on Instagram right now, just so we have as many people joining as possible to tune in for this Thursday night meditation, or no, Wednesday night meditation. But I do want to open up the platform for any pre-questions, whether it's with regards to meditation, spirituality, wellness, health. I'm here to share and learn with you all. So, welcome, Sarah. Welcome. So, we will start in the next, I'm thinking 30 seconds to a minute tops. But feel free again, if you have any questions, to just shoot. Here to help, here to share. And I did change up the background noise to make it a bit more naturey and natural. So do you all hear that okay? With regards to the sounds of the birds and the waterfall? Let me know in the chat. Welcome, Sarah. Thank you for being here. Alexander, welcome. Welcome, Pernille. So today's meditation will be on the briefer side. I want this to be as introductory and friendly to those that haven't meditated before. So the goal is really just to help people get accustomed to meditation and learn what it even is. I think that's something, welcome Gurunath. I know it's a very abstract term that people can get confused about and not know what it is. So that's why I'm here today, to just share what I know. That's all. Alrighty, so now let's begin. And I will save some time at the end as well to answer any questions, answers, whether it's any questions, comments, concerns, whether it's with regards to the meditation or even just in general, maybe with your own practices at home, yoga even. I've been doing yoga as well for quite some time now. So let us begin. I will start by giving some recommendations. The key word is recommendations in which we're really just going to share the optimal way I would recommend you all to get situated. So you don't have to do this, and these aren't mandatory, but these will definitely be optimal for your ultimate experience. This includes having your back straight. And I'll be looking down because of the way the camera is situated, but you're going to also ideally have your face tilted up. Back straight is going to be honestly very, very critical and very, very beneficial. Very, very kind of you, Sarah. Thank you so much for the badge. And palms open on your lap is also going to be ideal. That'll be very, very, again, optimal for your experience. And if you're sitting on a chair like me, I would very much recommend you cross the right ankle over left ankle. And there's a certain reason behind why we do that, which we can discuss afterwards. But right ankle over left ankle. And if you are, on the other hand, let's just say sitting on the ground with your legs stretched out, same principle here, right ankle over left ankle. If you're sitting cross-legged, just that's fine. No specific set of instructions on how you cross-leg, just standard posture. And that is it. Any questions before we start? These are just recommendations again. Definitely want to encourage to keep the back straight as much as possible. Any questions? Welcome, Shivangi. Thank you for being here. I'm also going to type in the chat for those of you all joining what we're going to be doing. So just give me a second before we jump into it. I truly do appreciate y'all's patience. Something that I think I've really learned well through the practice of meditation, because a lot of the times a big question that people ask me all the time is, how do I know if I'm doing it right? And that's a very complex question, which we could always dive into at the end. But a big part of it is just you showing up, you just sitting still for however long, which in this case we'll do for just under 10 minutes. That itself is very powerful, because if you think about it, most people nowadays are very, very fidgety, very, very attention driven and attention dependent, to the point where every second, even, I'm not gonna lie, even me to an extent, I fall into this trap at times, and that's even why I deleted TikTok off my phone, at least. And so it can be very, very easy for the mind to get fidgety and the body to get fidgety. So the point of all of this is to realize that just sitting still and really doing quote unquote nothing is very, very powerful. Because when you can establish that stillness within yourself, you will then be at less of a compulsively / reactionary state. And for most of us, and this is a whole other topic which I'll cover at the end if you guys want me to, a lot of the times we wonder why we feel a certain way, why things are happening to us mentally, physically. And you got to just realize a lot of the things that we do, we bring to ourselves. It's just that we do it so unconsciously. And then we tend to just, naturally, it's the human mind, get victimized, right, with regards to why we feel a certain way. But in reality, the truth is that we tend to do these things to ourselves unconsciously, whether it's the way we sleep, the way we sit, the way we eat, the way we breathe even. And so if we can learn to just be consciously doing everything, and more importantly than doing, just consciously being with everything that we do, you will naturally come to ease and have much more control over your inner state, especially. So that was a bunch of context. Any questions before we start? And as I type out what we're doing here. And for those of you watching from Mind Garden, I'm also live on the other phone, so that's why I'm on the phone. That is the only reason. um, welcome, Nicolette. Okay, let us begin all. So, I want you all to first just get, welcome Elias, nice and comfortable. Back to the positioning that I had recommended earlier, which was to have your back straight. Keep the eyes closed now. And for the duration of the practice, we will keep the eyes closed till the end when I say, open the eyes. Okay? Let us start by taking some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. 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 Let's continue doing that at your own pace, where you're taking deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, eyes closed. And I want you to just very simply, without analyzing too much, we don't want to have too much mind chatter and mind activity, but just a very simple observation. We're going to notice how as you inhale, the body gets nice and big. And as you exhale, how the body gets small as it contracts. Just take notice of that. As you inhale, body getting big. As you exhale, body getting small. Very simply, just take notice of that. Keep breathing. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. It is super normal and natural to have all sorts of mind chatter and activity right now, whether it's questions of what am I doing here, should I leave, whatever, right? It's going to be very normal and natural. And so I want you to very gently observe the chatter and observe the talk of the mind, but then also let that go and then bring the focus back to the feelings of noticing the body get big as you inhale and get small as you exhale. Just take notice of this. Don't do too much activity or effort, really. It should be very, very minimal. And now we're going to start breathing normally. So as you breathe in from the nose, you're going to breathe out from the nose. Regular breathing. As you're breathing normally, take notice of any sounds that you hear, whether it's the nature that we're in right now, which is our true nature. We came from nature, right? Maybe any other sounds that you hear at your place, wherever you're at. Maybe any smells, whatever that smell is. And now we're going to direct the focus towards the breath. I want you to find the spot of rising and falling breathing sensation. This can be your nose. This can be your chest. This can be your stomach even. Wherever you notice the breath rising and falling in the body really, just use this as the focal point. And as you find that spot, take your time here. We are going to start some gratitude meditation practicing. So as you breathe in, and this is all normal breathing, right? As you breathe in, you're going to say mentally that you are grateful, saying that I am grateful as you breathe in for this present moment. I'm just moving my hands to showcase how I'm breathing. You don't have to move your hands. Just a heads up, and keep the eyes closed if possible. As you breathe in, I'm grateful. As you exhale for this present moment. As you breathe in, inhale, I'm grateful. As you breathe out, exhale for this present moment. As you breathe in, I'm grateful. As you breathe out for this present moment. Keep this going at your own pace. It is very normal and very natural to get distracted, whether it's by your thoughts, feelings, sounds. Every time that happens where you get distracted, you're going to very gently, and I mean gently, let that distraction go. And bring the focus back to the breath and back to the gratitude practicing. Whereas you inhale, you say that you are grateful for. As you exhale this present moment. Inhale, I am grateful. Exhale for this present moment. Inhale, I am grateful. Exhale for this present moment. So be kind to yourself. It's very normal and very natural to get distracted. Every time that happens, gently let go of that and bring the focus back to the breath. Just like a workout. As a reminder, eyes closed. As you're breathing in, you're saying to your mind, or you're saying in your mind that you are grateful, meaning I am grateful. As you exhale from your nose for this present moment, you're going to say that. Inhale, I'm grateful. Exhale for this present moment. For those of you all joining, you're keeping the eyes closed. Breathing normally, so in through your nose, out through your nose. And we are mentally saying as we inhale, I am grateful. As we exhale for this present moment. Inhale, I am grateful. Exhale for this present moment. Inhale, I am grateful. Exhale for this present moment. Now we're going to slowly and gently let go of that focus. Keep the eyes closed, but gently let go of that focus on the breath as well as the gratitude practicing. And I want you all to now bring the awareness to the environment around you. So again, eyes closed, but start to take notice of the sounds of the nature, the water, any other sounds that are present on your end. Any smells, any feelings, whether it's maybe a cramp, whether it's an itch, start to take notice of the sensation of your palms without moving it, just the sensation of your palms. Notice the aliveness that are present in terms of energy in palms. And then slowly, take your time here. Open your eyes, take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for being here. I honestly love just self-improvement and this journey of inner understanding and the fact that you all are here sharing that with me is beautiful, and I truly do love this stuff, and so I'm grateful that you're here. It's also very important that we are grateful to ourselves for being able to see the light on this path. Thank you for being here, Donna. Really grateful for that. But just the fact that y'all are here itself shows that you are here seeking betterment. Thank you, Shubhangi, for those kind words. I just got a comment from the other channel, and I'm out here. I'm going to be here for the next couple minutes to answer any questions, comments, concerns, whether it's meditation related, whether it's spirituality, wellness, health. I'm here to help and share. So feel free to shoot any questions. So I got a question. Welcome, Austin, brother. How you doing? From Just Jim. Thanks, Vish. In the book, The Three Pillars of Zen, they recommend left over right, which helps to quiet the mind. Why do you recommend right over left? Very interesting. So I think what Jim is referring to is my earlier recommendation of crossing your right ankle over your left ankle. And what I'll say is this, right? There are definitely reasons out there for why we do certain things. I am all about the experiential at the end of the day. You can read a book, you can read the articles, you can read whatever, you can hear whatever from people too. At the end of the day, unless you experience what people say, it doesn't matter and mean much, right? So I'm sure if that's something that you find works best for you, I think the best thing here is to experiment, right? From the yogic culture and practices, meaning the Eastern yogic practices, it's recommended right over left. Maybe from the Zen, it's left over right. I would just say try both. Not maybe in the same session, but let's, for example, do 10 days straight of right over left, and then another 10 days of left over right. And then you experience and find out for yourself what is best. Because at the end of the day, we also come from different bases, right? In terms of mental, physical, even spiritual backgrounds. Not even from the construct sense, but from the sense of this being, right? And this body, the mind, the energy, whatever you want to call it. And so, of course, Jim, here to help again. Here to answer any other questions. Jim asked a great question. For those of you all that are here, let's see who's here. Sarah, Donna, Shubhangi, feel free to shoot any questions. I'm here to answer anything to the best of my ability. But at the end of the day, it's all about the experience. Try things out, try it consistently, and you will know for yourself what is best. And if you have any questions that you don't want to share publicly, feel free to DM me and share away. Here to, again, just learn and grow together at the end of the day. And these are things that I'm sure you've heard. We're all one, right? I mean, whatever color, gender, background you're from, we're all one. We all are one. Even the tree, I mean, there was actually this very, very interesting proverb that was, I think, out there where they questioned, great question, Sarah, I'm going to get to that in a second, but basically the question of morality itself, if you think about it, it's a very human construct, right? And these are things, by the way, that I've learned from other teachers and gurus and whatever, so I'm not going to even claim this is my full wisdom. Wisdom itself is shared, right? So I want to make that clear. But the question was, should you cut down a tree or not, morality-wise? But then the way to debunk that is to realize that if you just had the awareness to realize that half your lungs were resting on the tree, would you even question, should you cut the tree down or not? It's not morality, it's just awareness. How aware are you? And so the reason I say that is we are all one. So if we have that awareness, it is going to be fundamental and very natural for us to help each other out. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Nothing special. I'm not trying to claim that I'm going to change the world, but here to help. And now Sarah asked a great question. Do you believe in generational karma, passed on through generations? What can break the cycle, positive or negative? These are very powerful questions, which I will share my 2 cents on, and would love to hear y'all's thoughts on this too. And let me know, Sarah, if this answers your question or not as well. So let's first examine what karma even means, right? We tend to associate karma with some sort of negativity, right? And like a negative response. Like you do this, karma is going to get you, right? It's a very misunderstood Western concept. Well, misunderstood Eastern concept in the West. Karma literally translates into action. And as you do said, action, good or bad, there's really no good or bad, right? So it's just whatever action you do, that will naturally yield some consequence. So technically it's not completely wrong, but for example, as a quick example, if you were to study a lot for your test, let's say 10 hours a day for a week, and you do well on your test, that was your karma, that was your action, right? So your action led you to perform well because you studied well. It's your action. So with that same principle in mind, I want to just really hone in on us understanding what karma is, right? Now, with generational karma, a topic that connects to that would be, things like reincarnation, meaning what, maybe passing on of multiple lives where you take on different things and you carry this karma with you, whether it's good or bad. And so naturally, then the question comes down to, generational karma, right? How I feel about it is this. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. And I don't know if you will know either. And so that doesn't mean you should sit there and do nothing. But as long as you are consciously striving to be as aware as possible in this present moment, see, it's not even about this life, forget life. And I'll explain real quickly why I made the gratitude practice about saying that you're grateful for this present moment. Because if you just take a second to realize that all of life is happening in this present moment, whether it's you thinking about these questions, whether it's you reflecting on the past, whether it's you planning for the future, all of that is happening in the now. So if you can truly accept the now and be fully grateful for the now, you will naturally be fully accepting of all of life and all of everything, because everything is happening in the now. So as long as you're striving to be fully conscious and accepting of this present moment, that naturally will start breaking a lot of cycles and a lot of patterns, whether it's generational, whether it's something you have experienced from the childhood, whatever it is, you will start breaking those patterns, because at the end of the day, all of these patterns are stemming from an unconscious entanglement of the mind and of the body and of the energy, whatever that means, right? And that's where I even, try to stay away from, and again, when I say stay away from, this is just my answer. I'm here to answer any question. I try to stay away from things that are out of my experience. So even the topic of energy, the topic of what happens after you're dead, all these different questions, honestly, are hard to talk about because they only mean so much with words, and a lot of it can only be experienced. So the point of all of this is to focus on what is in your control, Sarah. If you can focus on what is in your control, which is this present moment, and strive for being as conscious as possible, meaning like this practice, incorporating this practice into your daily life, right? Where you are having some sort of anchor, whatever the anchor is. It could be your work, it could be brushing your teeth, it could be showering, anything, right? Doing the dishes, just having the anchor, giving your full awareness to the now. You will naturally start breaking these patterns of entanglement, whether it's generational, whether it's childhood, whether it's from yesterday. All of these are just unconscious entanglements. And the more light you bring to all of this, the easier it will get to disentangle yourself. And it's not something you're going to actively do. I want to make that clear. You're not going to actively say, let me get rid of this trauma, or let me get rid of this baggage or whatever. But you just being as conscious as possible will naturally have that process happen and unfold at its own pace. That is my answer, Sarah. Hopefully that was helpful. If not, I'm here again. I'm here to honestly stay as long as possible to answer any other questions. If that didn't answer it, let me know. I could definitely answer in a different way or answer other questions too if you have that. And thank you, Donna, for agreeing with that. Shabungi asked, what are your thoughts on reincarnation? Okay, that's also a good question. So, reincarnation is definitely more of an Eastern philosophy-based approach to what happens after the ending of the physical body, which is going to happen to everyone. And so I'm going to approach this the same way, if y'all don't mind, which is I have no thoughts. It's out of my experience. Therefore, I shall focus on what is in my control. Whether it's true, whether heaven is true, whether hell is true, whether reincarnation is true, I don't know, because I haven't experienced it yet. So I think I want to make this very clear. The power of I don't know is so paramount to the unfolding of the human experience. It is so natural and normal for the mind, especially conditioned by society, religion, politics, family, culture, to want to have opinions and thoughts about this and that. And that is, again, just conditioning, which, going back to Sarah's sort of question about dealing with all of this different karma. Welcome, Brian. I'm just answering questions right now, so feel free to shoot any questions. Welcome, Mark. And so the point of where I'm going with all of this is that it's out of my experience, but what is in my experience is this present moment. And what is in this present moment is this present moment. And that's all that I know. So as long as I'm focusing on what is in my control, which is this present moment, you will start naturally giving your all to life and living a beautiful life. Let me know if that answered your question, Shabungi. If it didn't, I am here to answer again. I'm glad it made sense. And also, yeah, thank you, Sarah, for that question. I'll just keep it real with y'all, right? I love this stuff. I really do. And this is day 2 of doing this daily. Definitely not expect, but I'm going to assume that we'll have more people coming in, more of a community, that is, and I'm here to just share away. Yeah, everything, because I mean, at the end of the day, my focus is on the topic of wisdom, wellness, and that, encompasses all of life, whatever it is, from relationships to food to family to anything, really, sports. I mean, all of life is connected in this sort of topic of range. And I want to make it clear, I am not a guru nor an expert, just a fellow seeker sharing. Sarah asked me, are you ever on Twitter Spaces? I'm actually not too familiar with that. I'm on Twitter technically. I'm not sure what Twitter Spaces is. I'll have to check it out. If you want to either comment that down or maybe even, it could be something I'll look up afterwards. Not sure if I'm on Twitter Spaces. I'm on Twitter and I do post content on there. And Shubhangi asked a question which I'm going to answer as well. And before I get to that, I just want to quickly sort of share that this meditation is going to be really just here, and Q&A sessions here to help people that are on this journey. And it's really a place where I want to get more close to you all, right? Because if you've seen the content that I make, it's more street interviews or around the topics of happiness and health and so on. Because not everyone knows what meditation is and maybe can go as deep as these things. But the goal is to eventually have everyone here also, because at the end of the day, people tend to connect their happiness to all these external things, and the focus is here on, as I've mentioned, all this connects. It's beautiful to see how it connects. All this really just goes to show how it's about focusing on what you have control over, which is yourself. And so naturally you should focus on that, and one way to do that is meditation. So Shubhangi asked, how do you deal with low days? What makes you happy? So I'm assuming, and feel free to modify your question if you want, you're referring to me specifically, or is it like how I feel people should generally deal with it? And I think it kind of taps into both. But yeah, feel free to maybe modify the question if you want. But this is what I'll say, right? When questioning how do you deal with, let's start with how do you deal with low days, right? We need to start examining why. Okay, you specifically and then both. So let's start first questioning the why we are even feeling low. So I want to make a very clear distinction here, considering I've dealt with in the past with just, very human things, whether it's anxiety, downness, all these different topics. It's a very human thing. So the first key step is to fully accept. So let's get into answering your question. So the first thing you want to do is accept it. Fully accept the feeling as it is. Journaling is also a very powerful tool. So journaling how you feel, why not even why, just journaling out your thoughts. Journal, write it all out. There's a very powerful thing that happens when you see what is stored in the mind. You're able to actually see it. And so seeing it helps you to let go of it. It's a very interesting phenomenon that happens, but that's just the way the mind works. That's just from my experience. So the first step is to accept it. Second step is to journal it. Third step is to take a second, and I want to make it clear here that you don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole of questioning it, because from my personal experience with anxiety as an example in the past, questioning these things will make you fall further down the rabbit hole. And so instead, you don't want to question it too much. However, you should probably, at least for a bit, reflect. I think a better word instead of question is reflect on your current lifestyle. When are you sleeping? How much are you sleeping? When are you waking up? How are you waking up? Is it an alarm? Is it natural sunlight? Are you getting sunlight into your body and mind? Especially in the morning, as soon as you wake up. Are you eating healthy? Are you eating at the right times? Are you exercising? Are you meditating? Are you doing yoga? Are you journaling? And if you're not doing most of these things, it is very, very natural for those feelings to happen to everyone. And so as long as you can focus on what is in your control, which in this case are these things, like journaling, like meditating, and so on, you will never even get to that place of downness, at least initially as frequently. I'm gonna be fully transparent, and this is not to brag about it, but just to share, and it goes back to the topic of karma, back to Sarah's earlier question. My action, my karma that I'm doing right now every single day, and this is, by the way, not to flex, I'm being fully honest, it's to share me and my karma, which is my action that I'm partaking in. I am waking up every single day naturally, not using an alarm. I am making sure I get exposed to sunlight within the first hour of waking up, doing some sort of exercise every day, getting 10,000 steps in as well every day. And most importantly, at the end, fifth, I am meditating for 2.5 hours a day. And this is, I finish most of it in the morning. So when you do these things and you start taking care of yourself, it's a beautiful analogy I've actually heard, which is this, right? We brush our teeth every day, we shower every day. Why do we do that? It's for the mind. No, tripped. It's for the body, right? It's for physical hygiene. But what are we doing for mental hygiene or spiritual hygiene, whatever that means? Not so much. And so the same way, if we consume bad food, consume bad energies, consume bad people, consume bad thoughts, consume all of this quote-unquote negativity, really just unconsciousness at the end, you're naturally going to bring yourself towards that feelingness of downness and not feeling so great. So I might come off a little harsh here, but I want to be very honest and clear. I don't want to sugarcoat and be too soft about it. I want to be real, because at the end of the day, if you're not doing these things, you're not helping yourself. And the only person that's going to help you is not me. It's not no one. It's yourself. Let me know if the answer is a question. Let me just make sure I got it. And then what makes me happy? What makes me happy is a great question. I would say, and this might sound a little cliche as we have dived into this topic, but the ability to be conscious and to be fully aware, or at least aware to whatever extent, is what makes me happy. That is what freedom is at the end of the day. If you can be free from all of these entanglements, from this generational karma, from this baggage that we build up from our actions, or maybe from other people, whether it's childhood trauma as well, or even just from our coworkers, like family, whatever, right? Realizing this, I think this is going to be a beautiful way to sum up what I'm trying to say, is to realize that the world is here not to make you happy, but it's here to challenge you. It is through these challenges that you grow. For those of us that work out, without the tears in your muscle, there is no growth of muscle. Therefore, no challenge to the muscle, no growth. So these challenges are here to help you grow at the end. And through that ability to grow, so it's the fact that you get a choice that makes me happy, honestly. Because you can choose to either grow or not grow. The fact that we have the choice in most cases is what makes me happy. It's just a question of, are you going to act on the choice, and what is your choice going to be? Let me know if that answers your question. Shubhangi here. Again, just to share my journey, just to share. I'll be here for the next probably minute or two. I definitely enjoy this, but feel free again to shoot any Any other questions? Thank you, Shubhangi. Glad it helped. If it helped, let me know. But I have maybe time for one more question. So whoever wants to shoot that, if you have that time. I'm going to also quickly say bye to the other live here from the other channel. So thank you all so much for tuning in for Mind Garden. Stay conscious. But for those of y'all on Instagram,